my Facebook and Instagram, so people might tune in, and we'll get going from there. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. I'm just gonna go get my phone, see how my dinner's doing, because I've literally just got in from my day out. So I will be right back. Okay, mate?
Alright.
Okay, see you in a minute.
Alright, perfect. Testing 1 2. Hello, testing. Testing 1 2. Testing. Testing 1 2. Testing.
Hi Chris, I'm back.
Welcome back, Peter.
Thank you very much, mate.
I have set up everything. I just need to add you as a sharing voice as well.
Okay, mate.
You can initiate accordingly.
Sounds good, buddy. When you have done, just start introducing me and then we'll get going, so to speak.
Yes, sure. So we're starting in 3, 2, 1. Okay. Welcome in everybody to the Database Racing Division 2 Race 2 in Great Britain. With me, Chris Samuels 27 alongside Pistol Racing, also known as the other way around to be fair, Peter, known as Pistol Racing, who is alongside me commentating as well. So welcome in, Peter.
Thank you so much, Chris, and thank you so much to yourself and to Database for having me once again. I've always enjoyed commentating on these races in Great Britain. It's such a great track to do it at. Looking forward to how it goes now. I'm already seeing a couple of DSQs, which is quite surprising. FaZe and I think
yes.
Andre.
Yes, to be fair, I haven't mentioned this to you, but FaZe and Andre got a quali ban following the race 1 incidents, basically. So that's the reason why they have disqualified. And the way it's done in the database is that they go out on track, they find a safe spot, and they stop the car and wait until they get disqualified. So that's the only way that they can start literally dead last.
I think that's actually very sensible, Chris. Obviously, we've seen in several qualifying sessions, especially with the new game, with how the game kind of runs. It's you're just people that retire in the pits. If anyone gets disqualified for such things as a DSQ, they start ahead of them or don't set a time. So I actually think that's a really great idea. So whoever did that or implemented that's a fantastic idea. I don't know who you're on board with, Chris, and I want to assist you in this, but I'm on board with excuse me, I'm on board with Joshua Axelson in the Scuderia Ferrari. I remember Josh from a race that I was commentating on a few months ago, and he took a win in the first race I was ever commentating on anyone, so I'm looking forward to seeing how he does here at Britain. It's a track I've not actually raced yet in F1 2021, so let's see how it goes. But who are you on board with?
Let's see, he's a very fast driver. Josh Axelson is one of the top contenders of Division 2. So
who's that, sorry?
With regards to Josh Axelson, he's a very good contender. He's one top contender for Division 2.
Yeah.
However, the first race was won by Swoosh Strider, who's currently on the Alpine, and he's still doing the outlap.
You can see Nigel C7 has gone with a 1:28.06. Not a bad time around Britain. I'm like I said, I've not done this track on the new game, so I'm not sure what is a good pace. But I mean, he's already 8 tenths ahead of Bennett 13 LFC, so that seems like a very good time as we see Squirrel go faster or 1:27.9.
Yeah, yesterday what happened was we had Division 1 at the same track, Great Britain, and basically the fastest lap was 1:26.4, if not mistaken. So that was a blistering lap, to be fair, and so 1:27.9 is a Division 2 pace, to be fair. So it's a good lap, but it's not the best lap that you can ever have. If you manage to have a 1:27.0, that would be a good chance for a pole position.
I think obviously I recognise several names in this league. I think the driver I'm going to be watching out for today is Cheppy Cho. He's a driver that's very similar to my pace in actually he's probably faster than me, and so I'm looking forward to seeing what sort of time Tapito is able to set. He's back in the pits now after his outlap, so I'm guessing he's either spun it or he has decided this setup isn't for him and needs to make a couple of tweaks that you can do on the park frame, like tyre pressures and front wing downforce. So we'll see how he does, but The Swiss Strider, who you mentioned, has gone pole with a 127.7, and Lewis's teammate in the Alpine has done a 127.8, just 400ths of a second behind Swiss. So let's see how these guys progress throughout the session. But obviously the track will warm up, it will heat up, and I'm sure the time's going to the mid to low 127. So let's see how they guys do.
That is so true, and we can consider that it seems a little bit cloudy here. Maybe we can expect some rain in a few minutes.
I think, see, one thing I've kind of learned about qualifying, obviously we don't get privy to the weather forecast for qualifying and the race, but if we were expecting rain in quali, I think everyone would be out sooner rather than later. And as we can see at the moment, we've got 9 drivers in the pits. If that was me and we're expecting rain, I think everyone would be out pretty quickly, just because obviously once the rain lands it's going to cost you a couple of seconds a lap, and obviously you're not going to set competitive lap times. So we've got currently 7 fast times between Swiss Strider and Bennett, which are already separated by about a second. I think if we were expecting rain, say in like next few minutes, everyone would be out. As we can see now, quite a few more drivers are heading to the track, but if I knew rain was coming, I'd be getting as many fast laps in as I possibly could before the rain settled. How about you?
Alright, that seems to be a little good point of view from your end. I mean, so we're not expecting rain, you're saying, here at the moment?
In quali, no. Obviously, we don't know about the race. The race is it's technically a different day, even though we do them one straight after the other. But in quali, I think it's going to be a dry quali. I'm on board with Swiss Strider at the moment, who's just gone purple in the first sector with a 27.9.
I have noted that Lewis gave him a very good slipstream. A very good tow in the first sector, so that's why.
Well, I don't know about you, but as a like, we're all in this to race, and you do have your team loyalties. Like in the league I race in, me and my teammate have discussed tactics, but am I going to allow those tactics to beat me? I'm not 100% sure on that, so I'm a bit, let's see what happens here. If I'm competing with my teammate for the win, I'm competing with my teammate for the win. I'm not going to give him that unfair advantage. So maybe that was a stroke of coincidence, but I mean, Lewis is already 0.3 of a second nearly up on Swoosh. So let's see how Swoosh starts coming through as we see. Wow.
Done the fastest lap.
Oh, 127.2.
So that's quite a lap. Now we're getting even closer to that low 127s as I am expecting from the Division 2 drivers, to be fair. So I believe that Lewis did give him a good tow, Swiss Strider. Maybe team orders are in place, because it's not only about the Drivers' Championship, but it's also about the constructors. So
of course.
So to be fair, if both drivers can make it P1 and P2 consistently, or making it into the point consistently, that could be very good for the constructors. Especially due to the fact that in a league, what happens is that there are so inconsistencies, and you need to be consistent in the league in order to get a lot of points and having the chance of winning a championship.
Of course, that completely makes sense to me. However, like, to be P1 and P2 is obviously a great achievement by any team. I think as a driver, and I'm just on board with Chapicho, who's validated around Sector 1, who also beat his personal best doing so, but I think, am I giving my teammate that wing? I mean, right now I can see that worked for him, because Swoosh, had he not got that purple second sector, he would probably now be in third with Nigel C7, who's just posted 127.6. Would have been second with Lewis in first, so it would have been close. So I do understand where you're coming from. You want to make sure your driver, your teammate, is able to post as good a time as you, so that you can battle for that constructor's title. I mean, I think as a driver, don't get me wrong, I'd love to win a tier or whatnot, but I think I would love to win a constructor title, because that doesn't just say that you are a good driver, but also your teammate is a good driver and you perform consistently well over a session. So yeah, I guess I do understand that actually, because right now, if Lewis maybe had not given Swoosh that slipstream, Swoosh would be a third. However, do I see these times drop in the next 5-10 minutes? We've got 7 minutes left to qualify, and I do see there being a sub 127. I really do. So let's see what happens. I can see Jiggle Fingers is just heading out of the pits now, in the McLaren. Obviously, McLaren having a fantastic weekend this weekend in real life at Monza. So let's see if Jiggle and Andre can not maybe replicate that, but do justice for a team that are constantly progressing.
Yeah, we can hope for the best. Jiggle Fingers is also very rapid. Maybe not one of the favorites, but he's very, very rapid as well. He was Division 3 last season on the F1 2020 game, and he was one of the top contenders. So I would expect that he would be mid to top 10, top 5 maybe. So I would expect something of that sort from Jiggle Fingers. When it comes to Andre, he is consistent. He also drives without assets, so would give the round of applause with regards to that, because what I have noticed from the previous game to this one is that the ABS have made it very weird. At least that's how I felt it, and he can still handle it quite nicely. So we'll see. We'll need to see. Andre is very consistent, as I said, and he could finish in the top 10 if he puts his mind to it as well.
And I think with any league owner, you always, when you go into your own races, you go in with the mind, I want to do well and represent my league well. So I'm sure Andre will be of a similar mind, and I always had fantastic battles with Andre when I've raced against him, and he's very quick and probably fast driver than myself. So I would be very surprised not to see Andre progress throughout the field. I mean, it would be hard for him not to, obviously starting in 20th place, but I'm sure we're going to see Andre putting together a very competitive race. And we've got, I think it's 28 laps of Silverstone, as I'm on board with D2R2 Torsiv, who runs wide through turns 9, getting a good line through Magnussen and Beckett's line. I kind of wish I could replicate in any of the games. It's obviously a very tight left right. So no, I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes across. Also, a new driver I've never seen race before, Wi-Fi Unicorn Power. I'm looking forward to seeing how they progress. Right now on their outlap, just starting their fast lap, currently sitting in 15th position and having not set a time yet, but let's see how they do. Just watching VTRI cross the line, didn't improve on his time, but a good lap nonetheless. I thought the Haas driver was going to connect with the AlphaTauri of it looked like an AlphaTauri, but I'm not seeing it as an AlphaTauri. So where are the AlphaTauris on track? I'm guessing that was Reese Ross. Yes, it would have been Reese Ross, who's now in sector 2 on his outlap. But yeah, let's see. We've got, I think, 5 minutes to go. Let's see who's going to put it in. Is Nigel going to be able to improve through the sectors?
I was on board with the WFI Unicorn Power, and he had just validated his lap.
Yes,
was
I saw that as well.
Pretty well. So that's why he's on 0 laps at the moment as well. And he's gonna need to pit again probably and go pretty fast, because there's only 3 minutes and 20 seconds left. So
however, if he does pair, it depends on how much he's fueled his car. Because I think this wasn't his outlap, but if he's got enough fuel, he's definitely got space for 1 or 2 more final laps. And I know some drivers, and myself included, when I'm starting on softs, I like to make sure they're up to maximum temperature and maximum grip before I do my real flying lap. Not like if I do my banker lap, I'm doing it early in quality. If I'm not, then I'm going for it, and I'm doing maybe like 2 hard laps, which will only affect you by maybe another lap in terms of pitting earlier. And if you're pitting onto the mediums or hard, it's gonna maybe pay dividends to do so rather and save a set of softs.
Yeah, that's true as well. What I can notice is that the WFI Unicorn Power basically had some extra fuel, so basically he's going to bank another lap, and he's on first purple sector.
I've noticed that as well. I'm sitting on board with him as well, so that is a fantastic first sector by Unicorn Power. Let's see how he does coming through turn 7. Has to take foot off the throttle for a moment, but still a decent exit speed at 181. See how he does with Maggots and Beckett. I think with Maggots and
He made it again.
Yep.
I think he's gonna start at the back because there's not enough time to go into the pits and go out again unless he has enough fuel to do another lap.
Exactly, but then we're talking about 3 lap old softs, which will be digging in because a hot lap on softs, he's going again. Oh wow!
So
wow!
I'm seeing from his telemetry that his fuel gauge is blinking.
Yes.
So,
I've got him on red, yeah. I've got him on red as well. He's on lap 4 and he's run out and he's going to retire from here. So he will be starting at the back. He's going to produce... I've just sat on board with VROAM, I'm going to presume that's produced as, who's just got into top 10 with competitive fast lap. His previous fast lap was about 30 seconds shy, so obviously I'm guessing there were incidents there, but he wanted to get a lap in just in case. Canasi Unicorn Power has retired from the session, but Rom, he has got one more lap in, and his light has just started flashing. He's 2/10 down on his first sector, but he's still using ERS. So is he going for it? I guess that's the question. I can see Nigel C7 has come up to second.
Yep, and he has just finished I think the lap.
He has, yes. I'm seeing. I don't know what corner this is, but yeah, it's definitely turn 1. However,
Nigel just retired from the session because
he has. I saw the retirement announcement. However, I was very surprised that it's done on track. You've got a lot of drivers who are on fast laps, including Joshua Axelson, who had to screen past him. And the thing is, when you're on a fast lap, you're concentrating. You don't know if the drivers are in control of their cars. So it's a bit like, if I completed a hot lap and my session hasn't finished, I'm still going to complete that lap so I don't get in the way of other drivers. But I'm looking forward to seeing how Joshua does. If he can improve by a couple of attempts, he's potentially up 2 places to 5th as he has to get off the throttle coming through turn 7. Now up to Maggots and Beckett. How is he going to handle these two? He's got some good... I think you can kind of tell if drivers are running good high downforce or low downforce through Maggots and Beckett, because it's high speed, high terrain. You have to, if you're running low, you're going to have to compromise on the speed coming into it. But Josh didn't, so let's see what he's able to do now. Coming through sector 3 up to the penultimate chicane. He's going to brake nice and early. Doesn't want to overdo it into the final couple of turns. And what he's just going to produce here is going to be an improvement. No, yes it is, but not enough to improve his overall time. Only driver who can now battle him are Ice1 and F1 Immortal. But F1 Immortal...
The meantime, Miller had just pulled off a blistering lap. He came P5, and he... I'm saying this because he is technically a Division 3 driver who is reserving for Division 2.
Wow!
So P5 for Miller is quite a lap.
That is a very good lap by Nilla. Well done, Nilla. Obviously, when you move up a league and you then qualify in the top 5, that's a fantastic achievement by the Alfa Romeo driver.
Yeah.
So well done to him. And obviously, we can see the Alpines are first and third, Haas is second, and then Alfa Romeo 4-5 in Chapicho and Lilla. So well done there. But we have got our starting grid for this 50% race at Britain. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, let's see. So in the meantime, until the game loads, hopefully, I'm gonna mention the standings for the Delta Pace Racing Division 2 after the first race. So we can mention that after the first race, Swoosh Strider has 25 points, Chapicho has 19 points, Vrome has 15 points, WFI Unicorn Power has 12 points. Lewis has 10 points. Josh Wilson 8 points. King's Copper, who is not here at the moment today, has 6 points. Andre has 4 points. Bennett has 2 points, and F1 Immortal has 1 point. When it comes to the constructors, we have the Alpine team, 35 points, Alfa Romeo 25, Scuderia Ferrari has 20 points, Mercedes has 16 points, McLaren has 4 points, and Scuderia Alfa Tauri Honda has 2 points.
I think it's going to be a very interesting battle today between the Alpine and Alfa Romeo drivers. Obviously, they're quite close in the constructors. They occupy 4 of the top 5 positions. Let's see what the race brings here at Britain. It's looking like a very sunny Sunday afternoon at Silverstone. I think we're going to have a fully dry race.
Yeah, I would expect so.
Yes. But the great thing about Formula 1, you never know. So, let's see what happens. But if we do get rain, it's definitely going to be a spanner in the works. However, the drivers would have known this and adjusted their strategies accordingly. So, let's see. Shortly be getting underway with its 50% race, and looking forward to commentating it on you. Do we have a formation lap, Chris? Or is it straight?
Yes, we do have a formation lap, yep. So
Awesome.
basically, Sue Strider is going to take us through the Silverstone track, basically.
Because see the data provided by strategies, we're looking at a definite one-stop strategy. Pitting between laps 9 and 12 from the softs to the mediums or hard. So obviously I'm sure the drivers will go for a medium option if you can make the mediums last. If it's not too high on tyre degradation, you're going to make the mediums last, because generally they are faster than the hards, and the crossover point would be quite late on, and I'm not sure the hards would prove to be that beneficial. I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah, and when it comes to this strategy point of view here, I have raced a couple of races here in Silverstone, and the best strategy here is a soft to medium strategy, no questions asked. You will need the soft strategy at the first track to be as quick as possible, to get as further as possible, because this is a high speed track, and the high speed track would need a high speed in general, you know. So what you need is a good grip, a softer, grippy, fresh tires to get through the first 10 to 11 laps maximum, and then go through the mediums to continue the race. But the hard tires can be interesting to implement if there's a safety car in the first 3, 4, 5 laps.
Yes.
That would be very beneficial for those who implement the hard tires at that time.
I'm looking at these strategies now and the tyre complementation. I'm seeing only 3 drivers in the entire grid have selected to start on the mediums. 2 of them being the Mercedes drivers in Rom and F1 Immortal, and Reece Ross in the AlphaTauri. Him and Unicorn Power have both just been disqualified from the session, from the warm-up lap due to a collision. Yes. Obviously they're going to be sat on cold tyres, but the mediums are a lot quicker to warm up than the softs, aren't they?
I would believe that the softs would take relatively less time to warm up, but then they tend to overheat after 7, 8, 9 laps.
Yeah.
Basically. So that's where the medium really comes in play. So that's why you would need the soft tires to start with, because you would need to have a dead grip in the first laps if you want to hold on to a DRS train or to get away from the driver behind.
Agreed. So let's see what happens. We've now got the drivers on the grid and 5 laps are going out.
Let's see. 5 lights and away we go.
Great job by Chapicho and Lewis.
Yeah, and Nigel got a blistering start. Oh, we have Josh Maxson who spun.
Yes, he has, and Andre's already up 2 places. Reese is down as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, we're
seeing lots of changes here.
Literally carnage, lots of collisions.
Great battle here between Lewis and Nigel coming into turn 5. who's going to get it. We've got Nigel on the inside, but Josh had more speed.
Very close. Yep.
Wow, great lines there by the Haas and Alpine driver. We've got Chappie Choco.
Is sitting at the best position, to be fair, because two drivers fighting in front is
exactly
an advantage for Chappie.
Swoosh Strider already outside the DRS range on these drivers, though. That's going to play a big part in his strategy if he can make it last. And I saw Chappie Cho leaning off of the throttle there into Maggots and Beckett's to avoid a collision with Nigel there. Very sensible driving.
I'm a little bit surprised that there's no safety car, because I have seen at turns 2, 3 and 4 there were quite some collisions. I mean, there were a lot of drivers being very, very close to each other. But
yes,
let's hope that they don't have damage. I would expect that some drivers enter the pits.
I think we're going to see Joshua and Andre pitting, both of whom have fallen rather back. I know Andre gained a couple of positions off the start, so I'm expecting both of the Ferrari, neither of whom do pit. But we do see the Aston Martin of Pengu Slayer pitting, but only one pit stop so far. So already know we've got our first driver with a penalty in the Haas driver of D2R2 down in 50th place, and already with a penalty after just one lap. So
yeah, I'm currently on board with Chappie Cho, and I'm seeing the battle between Nigel and Lewis unfolding again in turn 4.
We've got a McLaren that spun. Andre's lost it through turn, I want to say turn 3. Looks like I'm not sure what's happened, but no, it was definitely turn 2. Between turn 2 and turn 3, ended up off track, and now Andre down to 90th place, 13 seconds behind Joshua Axelson, and only maybe, I'd say, 15 seconds ahead of Pengu Slayer, who's already pitted. He's pitted onto the hards.
Yeah.
Will they last is the question.
I think the could last till the end of the race. However, at the last 5 laps, it would degrade so heavily, because
Kieran Barr has retired.
Oh, what has happened?
Kieran Barr has retired. It looks like coming out of Maggots and lost it through Maggots and Beckett's. Yep. So no safety car. He is considerably off track. However, I think for Pengu to make this strategy work for him, he is going to need a safety car without a doubt. Because Torsif is also in the pits in the Haas. I'm guessing maybe there was a collision between himself and Kieran. So we are now down to 19 drivers. We've got the Haas driver in the pits, and we've got Pengu, who is out on the hard tyres. But up front, we've got Swoosh Strider, currently 2.5 seconds ahead of Nigel, who's got Swoosh's teammate Lewis right on his back, and will be able to make DRS work for him should he get a decent exit off from Maggots and Beckett. That's one set of corners I really struggle with. Like, I am always losing time in Maggots and Beckett's, and so when I'm going through the DRS section, as Lewis one's really wide, he'll definitely got a tracking visual notice there. I really struggle, so I'm constantly playing catch up on this straight. However, the DR straight in sector 1 is where I tend to gain, as we see FaZe McBot has picked up a penalty as well for track limit. It's already quite a lot of penalties coming through, even though we're only a couple of laps into the race. What do you think, Chris?
Yes, when it comes to exceeding track limits, at the moment you only have two drivers who have these track limits penalties, which are FaZe McBot on the Aston Martin, and there's the D2R2 as well. This is a track that usually doesn't really punish you when it comes to exceeding track limits, because the track is so wide, and but at the same time, when you go through the Maggots and Beckett's corners, it's so easy that you can get 2 warnings at once. So possibly there could be drivers that could get a penalty because they have let's put it in this way, not bended, but misjudged the corners of the Maggots and Beckett and got 2 warnings out of it, or a warning.
Yes.
But overall, this is not a punishing track when it comes to exceeding track limits. In the meantime, D2R2 has fitted for the hards, and I would expect that he would go till the end. And FaZe McBot got another infringement. Basically, he got another 3 seconds time penalty, so that would be 6 seconds time penalties. Yes. Correct as well.
I'm seeing Nigel and Lewis are both catching up to Swoosh Strider. Nigel having to defend from Lewis. Lewis has got the inside line coming to the penultimate turn, but Nigel able to hold a good line there, maintaining good traction. And a great defensive line there into the penultimate chicane. How much longer though will he be able to hold off Lewis is the question.
Yeah, what I can say as well is that ERS usage is key as well in this track, because this is a high-speed track and you need to use the ERS very wisely, because the driver in front will still have a lot of speed, you know, a lot of track ahead of him, and the exits and the ERS usage are literally key. Yeah, so if you literally drown your ERS at the start of the race, at the first couple of laps, you will struggle in the end.
Agreed, and I'm seeing that Bennett in 5th place, obviously doing very well on those soft tyres, staying on board with the top, trying to maintain the DRS train up to 2nd with Nigel. However, he has used most of his ERS, whereas the likes of Chappie Cho, Lewis and Chappie Cho are both in the mid 60s, 70s. Bennett in the single digits, and Nigel with 40% left, so a decent amount to defend, because you only really need it to defend on the fast speed straights. However, see the other drivers in Chappie and Lewis are gaining on him, and I think it's going to be a case of when, not if.
We have to give it to Nigel though, because he's defending, so he has to use that a little bit more ERS, you know.
Of course.
Whereas Lewis and Chappie and Bennett are not expected to really use ERS as long as they are in the DRS train.
Well, to be fair, Bennett doesn't have any ERS to use anymore because he's used it all up to keep up with himself. But yes, when you see the same gap between 1st and 2nd as 2nd and 5th, you know 2nd is going to be having to utilise his ERS very sensibly. So
yeah, that's true. I have a question, Pete, with regards to the undercut. Do you believe that an undercut here would play in the driver's favour or against the driver's favour?
Depending on the circumstances. So I think once we hit lap 8, if we are 8 laps of solid racing, we've got a decent gap between 16th in Squad and 17th in Andre, and I think that's where the lead drivers are going to come out in, because the gaps otherwise are very small and it's a very slow, long pit lane. It's about a 30-second pit stop here, so yes, I think the undercut is going to work for the lead drivers. If I'm by the lead, I mean 1 through 5. If I'm obviously Rom is on the mediums in the Mercedes in P6, but I think anyone 7th through to 12th, the undercut is not going to work. As we see Chappie Cho heading into pits 4, said undercut, and he gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, because I think a lot of drivers are expecting the pit lane to be 50 mile an hour, and obviously it's 37. I think we're going to see a lot of these. I think we're going to see a lot of these today, but. Will the undercut work? Yes. I think the mediums could go 19 laps. I can see Chappie Cho is about to change onto mediums. And at some point in this race, I think with any league race, and I'm sure you'll agree, Chris, we're going to see a safety car. So I think 19 laps on the softs.
I would expect one, yes, for sure. In all fairness, Chappie Cho has got the 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. However, how the game is portrayed, the line when entering the pits, when you come to the braking zone, I think that there is a misjudgment from Codemasters, to be fair, because I have tried it so much in an individual race to brake exactly at the braking point that Codemasters provides, and you still won't manage to go
we're seeing a DSQ. Seeing a DSQ here. Stroud has been disqualified. All I could see was that he was parked up in the pit lane, so I'm guessing there was maybe collision when he went into the pit lane to change onto fresh tyres. However, what I said about pitting, obviously Chappie Cho pitted from 4th position, and he is now less than half a second behind Andre, who is going to be on very 6 lap olds off. So I think anyone above Chappie Cho, i.e. Lewis, Nigel and Swoosh, will get out in front of Andre. However, the likes of Bennett will struggle to do so, as we see Torsif has also retired from the session, and I think Chappie Cho picked the perfect time.
And we have a safety car, so for Chappie it's a little bit a disadvantage for him, because all the other drivers, I would expect that they would be pitting. However, I'm seeing that only Andre has pitted.
Because the rest had passed the pit lane. The top 5 had passed the pit lane when the safety car was announced.
Yeah.
So I'm sure the drivers will be under Delta now, so they're going to get the opportunity to pit under safety car regs. However, that is going to play into the hands of drivers such as Chappie Cho to get back up the field without having to battle in dirty air against the likes of Andre, who is a very quick and competitive driver. You don't want to be stuck behind a fast driver on fresh tyres, unable to get past them. So obviously Chappie Cho is now cleared for that, because I don't think Andre would have pitted when he did had it not been for the safety car. So he's got that ability to now obviously get past those drivers, and I'm sure a lot of drivers are now going to choose to pit, be it whether they're on the mediums or on the softs. They're going to pit onto, if they're on mediums they'll pit onto hards, if they're on softs they'll pit onto mediums. I think this safety car is going to dictate this race if we don't get any more, without a doubt.
Ghost Rider has pitted, Nigel
so
has
Nigel
pitted as well.
Lewis is going to be double stacking. Lewis will be double stacking. I don't blame Vroom for pitting, because with the FaZe McBot gets it to second.
Yeah, FaZe McBot is at 21 seconds time penalty. That's
he's going to be close to
being
DSQ.
disqualified. Yeah,
he will
he's
be
very close to DSQ. Yeah, I would expect that he would be the DSQ by the end of the race.
I did notice that we've got Swoosh and Lewis in the pit at the same time. I think Lewis did have to double stack, which saw Bennett pass Lewis. So Lewis now technically down, and Reese Ross has now passed him on track. Reese Ross now up to 5th position, having pitted earlier. And where's Chappie Cho? Chappie Cho's going to come out just behind Lewis. Yeah, 7th place. So he's doing well, and obviously Reese still needing to pit as well as F1 Immortal. I'm surprised neither chose to do so, but I'm thinking maybe they are expecting another safety car, and then they're going to pit onto the soft tyres later on in the race. So we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, let's see how this fares. Chappie Cho, I'm still a little bit surprised. He still ended up 7th place. Of course, I'm considering that F1 Immortal hasn't pitted yet.
As well as Reese Ross ahead of him in 5th.
Yeah.
So he is de facto 5th. But Bennett, Bennett would have got the advantage over Chappie Cho, because Bennett was pitting on the safety car Rex. So Chappie Cho, who was in 4th place, is now in 7th with 2 drivers ahead of him and 1 driver getting the safety car undercut. So,
and that would be in favour of Bennett.
Of course, yes. A pit stop on the safety car will save you, I think it's 8 to 10 seconds on this track. So yeah.
That's totally logical. Yeah, I would agree with that. So that's why in the beginning I said that Chappie Cho would be literally kicking himself, because he pitted 1 lap earlier, basically, and he lost all that potential time under the safety car conditions.
But did he, is the question, because obviously he's come out right behind Lewis, who double stacked. So I mean, I think even if he pitted a lap earlier, he would have come out in 6th, because I think Reese Ross having chose not to pit and Lewis having double stacked behind Swoosh. Lewis was in 3rd position battling for 2nd, and now Lewis has dropped 4 places. Chappie Cho has only dropped 3. So I think Chappie Cho, if he had pitted a lap later, would have been in 6th. As we see FaZe McBot going past Chappie, which is rather weird. I was not expecting that, because obviously we're on the safety car regs and Faye's having to move aside to let Chappie back through. And I'm sure he's going to pick up a penalty if he doesn't let him through at any point soon. Just see now, Faye's bot with 21 seconds penalties and Chappie Cho with 8 seconds. I'm sure Chappie will be looking to, hoping for another safety car so he can get rid of 5 seconds of those underneath safety car regs. However, Facebook by 21 seconds, this has got to be wondering what's going on here. But one thing I've found about the new edition of F1 is a lot of Cody's glitches, as I call them. So, like, how can Bates pass under a safety car and not get a 5-second penalty for it? It's a bit weird. But we are, what, 10 laps into this 26 lap race here at Silverstone. Some great action so far. We've got F1 Immortal in first in the Mercedes, and she's still needing to pit, as well as Reece Ross. Yes, all the other drivers have pitted in the race, so let's see how the next 16 laps go. I think this will be the last lap on the safety car reg, but let's see. I'm going to sit on board with Sue Strider, who will want to try and stretch out the gap as much as possible. Obviously, F1 Immortal are much older medium tyres. I think
we have just received the notification with regards to the safety car. It's going in this lap, so we'll confirm your statement as well.
So I think Swift Strider is going to want to get past Immortal as quickly as possible. He knows once we're in full racing regs, F1 Immortal, who drops the corner early, is he going to... I think he might actually end up going past the safety car. The safety car is going to be very slow. And Swoosh Strider, closing the gap to F1 Immortal. F1 did go too early. And Swoosh is going to have the line. I think he's going to have the line.
He's very close and he's going to make the overtake.
Yeah,
and
done.
Just made it.
Done and dusted.
Yeah, he did it as quickly as possible. And he literally listened to your suggestion there.
I know. But we got Nigel now right on the back of F1 as well, and F1 Immortal is going to be needing to defend hard or utilising a lot of EOS to stay ahead of Nigel. See the top 4 drivers, obviously F1 Immortal still need to pit, but Swoosh, Nigel and Bennett all carrying 3-second penalties. So, Nigel got a great line there through. Is he going to get the position over F1 coming into the sharp right-hander?
And they're gonna go at cop side by side almost. And F1 Immortal backed out.
Yeah, I think he had to. He knows he's got much more worn tyres, and Bennett now right on the back of F1 Immortal. I think Bennett just needs to wait. He knows F1 Immortal is going to be on much softer tyres.
Let's see Bennett how it's gonna fare.
He's already a second down on his fastest lap. I don't think he's going to get past Immortal on this straight.
But on the hangar straight for sure.
F1 Immortal already showing as full deploy use, so he can't use anymore. Running wide on the corner, and Bennett getting past without any issues there.
And
Lewis and Baines right on the back,
He almost made the overtake work as well.
He's got the inside line. What is F1 going to do? Wow. I think F1 is looking to make these meetings last for a soft switch. I think he's committed himself to that strategy now, so if he doesn't, he's down in last, so. And F1 spun it, he spun it, and Immortal has spun him.
Yeah, there was no contact.
And down, so I know, he lost it coming through turn 3, and his tyre's going to be overheated like crazy now. He's going to be begging for a safety car, but now down in last place already. What, 8 seconds? I believe he has
felt the pressure, to be fair, because he had like literally 3 drivers, literally within 1 second, so probably has felt the pressure.
And now I see Nigel right in the back, Swoosh with Bennett 3 seconds behind them, but I think this is going to be a fantastic battle for first place here between Swoosh and Nigel. Nigel has caught up and well, but Swoosh obviously our championship leader, if I remember correctly.
Very good exit from Nigel. Very good exit.
Yes,
I think there's
he's got the inside line.
Without a DRS. Can you notice the slipstream, how much the slipstream works in this game? As soon as Nigel went out of the slipstream from Swoosh Strider,
he was equal speed, wasn't it? Yeah, exactly. I did notice that. Yeah, I was going to say, like, he caught him up and then he pulled out, but if you don't make it and move right at the last second, you're going to be screwed. And already swoosh 7 tenths ahead now, whereas we thought Nigel was going to get the move done on the long straight. As we see another penalty for Facebook, about 24 seconds. How is this possible without a disqualification? I mean, that's on average, what, 5 errors per lap. Net swoosh. No, sorry, Facebook bot has now entered. I mean, I'm sure some of them are.
3 seconds. If those were 3 seconds, he would have got 8 times
exactly
24.
Yeah, in 13 laps. Yeah. But I know he's had at least one 10-second penalty for excessive corner cutting. So I'm guessing that's just smashing it through Maggotts and Beckett's. But I think FaZe is going to be very close to DSQ if he continues the way he's racing.
Yeah, I believe that he is on the verge on being disqualified from the race. And the Fenderer got the second time penalty. And we have a Ferrari who spun. WFI Unicorn Power.
Yep.
Oh.
I'm currently sitting on board with Lewis, who's going down the outside of Bennett into the second DRS straight. And completes the move. Great move there by Lewis on Bennett, and FaZe right now behind the two of them. Actually, FaZe does have a mountain.
In the meantime, Tommy TC has made an overtake on the TTV Pengusle up to 4 heats. And Nigel got the fastest lap as well. So I think it's going to be a very close contest between Smooth Strider and Nigel.
Agreed.
Both having 3 seconds time penalty, with Lewis on P3, who has made the overtake over Bennett as well, having no penalties, and he's only 3.7 seconds behind. So it's going to be interesting between the first 3 drivers for sure. And Nigel is trying to make a move.
Oh, wow, that was close. But Nigel getting a good line there, but
I believe Nigel has exceeded, did cut his back in order to try to make the overtake, so
let's have a look.
Probably has another warning. We have Sector 2 incident, and that is Niller. Niller has just spun out.
I'm seeing that both top 2 drivers have got 5 warnings, so either one of them are 1 warning away from another 3-second penalty.
Alright. How would you know that they have 5 warnings?
Race Direct. If you go to pause and Race Director, you can see how many warnings each driver have got. You can literally click on them and see it. Like Nigel now, Nigel has 5 warnings total, as does Swoosh Strider. As we see, Swoosh Strider has now dropped a second behind Nigel. But yeah, that's how you can second.
And in the meantime, Lewis is like rubbing his hands, you know, like that's a very good fight for them, but he's gaining time, you know. And he's literally 2.9 seconds behind, so technically Lewis would be the race winner if the race stopped now.
Yes, but interestingly enough, I'm seeing Lewis has got 3 warnings, so why doesn't he have a penalty? It's normally 3 warnings and you get a penalty. So
could it be a contact warning, for example? Maybe he had contact with another driver and got a warning instead?
Maybe. Let's have a look. So, incidents, it would have been lap 1 incident. Yes, collision. First one was collision. So Lewis is 3. Oh! Niller has been disqualified. Yes, it's looking like that's a pit lane. It's looking, yeah, he's in the pit lane as well.
So what I can tell you about the speed is that we have told the drivers that whenever they, for example, instead of rage quitting or anything,
go into the pits and retire.
Rather park the car in a safe location until they get disqualified, or they park the car near the pit lane, so they can get disqualified and their car enters the pits.
That makes sense.
Yeah, without causing a safety car, of course.
Exactly, that's the last thing you want in an online race. You all are working hard, you're battling it off, and then 2 laps before someone rage quits and bam, your whole race is messed up. So, but right now Lewis is de facto first. I think he is actually, sorry, no, he's not. Nigel is. Lewis is 3 point, he's somewhere between 2.9 and 3.1 seconds behind Nigel. So this is close. Bennett as well, just 3.4 seconds behind Nigel. However, Bennett does have 3 seconds penalty, so let's see what the next 10 laps bring in this race.
I'm on board with Chappie Cho, who's literally behind Pace McBot, Lewis, and Bennett. They are literally
it's a
at DRS train.
Yes.
Chappie almost lost it.
Yeah, I'm watching that as well now. I'm looking at DRS levels, and all of them have
tried to making an overtake over Nigel.
Easily done. Easily done.
Ooh.
I think Nigel had a bad run out across there because Swoosh Strider just had so much more pace coming out of that turn. However, worth noting that Swoosh has used all of his ERS. Nigel coming right back at him. Wow, that was some insane pace. 32%.
Rider has had no ERS whatsoever. He has had blinking
ERS.
So basically, this is why I said that ERS is so much important that you harvest it at the right moment.
Agreed. I would completely agree with you there, my friend.
That's the incident.
Yep.
Chappie Cho, he has one up, and he's down to P7 now. Andre, we have barely spoke about him except for the first lap slide, to be fair, but he's currently P8. And all the above drivers have penalties, including Lewis, who has just got one.
Yes.
That would be good for Andre as well, because if he keeps close to the drivers in front, I think he can be potentially 5th. Because there's
right now I'm saying 6th. Because Faye's obviously 24 seconds, he's kind of out of the question, let's be honest. And then you've got Chappie Cho, like you said, on 8 seconds, but Andre is currently 3.2 seconds behind Vriom. So he's going to have to battle that, and then the top 5 are 4 seconds separated between the top 5. So Andre 8 seconds behind them. I think he's going to struggle. However, if he can keep it clean and there's another safety car, my money's on Andre for the win. So let's see what happens next year. That's Nigel going defensive against Swoosh. Currently in Alpine 2.5 first place. Obviously his teammate Torsif has retired, but we've got 8 laps left, and Ice One picks up a penalty in 14th position, picking up his first penalty. I think we're seeing a lot of penalties in the top 10, which means they're battling hard.
I believe he has damage.
Yes, he's gone. Is he even pitting?
Oh,
yes.
I would literally pray for a safety car right now.
Well, yes, I think so. But he's going to come out in 12th at worst. He's serving a penalty as well. Chappie Cho serving his 5-second time penalty. So he's going to stops. He will, if he does not get past the step, I'll be stunned. But he's got, I'd say, 18-19 seconds to catch up to Tommy to make that pay. And with 8 laps to go, can he do it? I guess the question begs.
Yeah.
We will see.
In the meantime, I'm seeing the battle between Bennett and Lewis.
Okay.
Cops, and they're still side by side.
Swoosh has passed Nigel. Swoosh has got past Nigel again. Nigel, though, is going to have DRS, is going to have 40% ERS utilised. He's in the slipstream. And it's going to be easy. Yep, Nigel has done it.
I think Nigel is playing this
I think Nigel is going to win this race. Touch wood, but he's utilised. I think the key to this new game, like in the old game, like if you break heavy into a corner, you're getting 10% ERS, but in this new game, you're getting maybe 4 to 5%. ERS management is the key to winning a race in this new game, and Nigel is managing his superbly. Like he's got 36%. Over 40 now, whereas Swoosh has got 13, which will be fine for attacking, but I think what Swoosh needs to do here is sit behind Nigel, build up his ERS, not use it, and then last lap or 2, boom, because if he can do that, Nigel's going to use all of his ERS defending. I think he needs to think long term here, not just get ahead of him and then get straight taken over. He needs to play the long game here, try and maybe force a mistake from Nigel going wide or whatnot, but he needs to stop using his EOS and he needs to get right on it. Sit behind Nigel, because they've got a 3-second gap to Lewis, who's also picked up a penalty now. So this is essentially in the top 4 on track race. So they've all got the same penalties. So he can sit behind Nigel, save his ERS, and then that last lap or last lap and a half, make the overtaking the DRS straight and make it stick. That's what I think needs to be done here. Like, I mean, I don't want to brag here, but I think the battle you and I had in China, I think that was a case of we both managed not just our tyres well, but our ERS management well, and that's what led to such a great battle. And it is a battle at the end of the day, making sure you can make it to the end of the race. We've still got 6 laps to go here. All of the drivers are on very warm mediums. I think, honestly, Swiss would be better off just sitting behind Nigel, getting the DRS, and saving his ERS for that last lap or two. I mean, that's what... I mean, I remember our battle, we were battling right into the... I mean, like, we were side by side and a slight collision in the penultimate corner because we both utilised our cars well enough. So it's... You need to do that as a racing driver. As I'm not surprised to see Chappie Cho, who's now up to 11th. He is 20 seconds behind Tommy, but he's up to 11th with Ice 1, really struggling on those soft tyres. And Chappie Cho getting past Ice 1. He's got 23 seconds to catch right in 6 laps. I don't see it doable, if I'm completely honest. Tommy is being very sensible. I'm on board with him right now in the Williams. He's saving his ERS. He's on the hard tyre, so theoretically Chappie Cho could catch him. But making the overtake and 3 seconds, Chappie Cho's going to have to push very hard to do so. And Tommy is saving his ERS. He's being sensible. He's not using it. He doesn't need to.
Bennett had just fun.
Is he out? No.
I'm not seeing he's out. No, he just spun on the last corner.
I'm seeing that as well. So now FaZe McBart, who's got he's got nearly half a minute in penalties. FaZe McBart. How? Right now, FaZe McBart is actually dropping out of the top 10. He's going to be 30. Yeah. He's going. Wait, no. Yeah, Tommy, who's in 10th. Tommy, who is in 10th right now, is 24 seconds behind the leader. The leader having a 3-second penalty, so he's actually 21 seconds behind. FaZe McBart is 31 seconds behind that. No, sorry, 28 seconds behind. So FaZe McBart is coming in 10th right now, and Tommy is coming in 9th. Chappie Cho needs to gain 15 seconds to catch FaZe McBart in 4th. That's the thing I kind of love, but if FaZe McBart gets any more penalties, he's going to be DSQ'd, which would promote Chappie Cho to 10th, as well as with fastest lap, so he'd get 2 points. And FaZe has got 5 laps to go and he needs to get no penalties. I think he's going to struggle.
Yeah, that's true. So that's true. I'm also noting that Andrei has still not got any penalty, and he's just under 1 second after Bennett. So
Andrei right now is in 4th.
Yeah, so technically he's in 4th, so that could be a very good race from Andrei starting from 20th.
Exactly. And we've only had 4 retirements on a full grid, which is very good in terms of pace and driving etiquette. So to see Andrei having started DSQ'd and starting in and up to 6th with no penalties whatsoever, fantastic driving there by Andrei. I mean, Silverstone is not an easy track to avoid penalties because of how the corner cuts work. It is, especially through Magus and Beckett's, which are such fast-paced corners, it's so easy, like you said earlier, to get a double whammy of penalties there. So for Andrei to not have any is a fantastic achievement.
Yeah, it's fantastic stuff. In the meantime, I'm seeing Nigel who has backed out of Smooth Strider, who has just retained his first place.
Ditto.
Yeah, and they're going into Magus and Beckett. In the meantime,
Lewis gets a 3-second penalty. That's going to screw him over for the race win.
Yeah, and he's literally gaining a lot.
Wow! Sorry, I just saw Nigel's pace coming down the hanger straight. That was insane. He wasn't using the RS or anything, just the RS, and he has so much pace over the Alpine driver. But Lewis now needs to get a crack on. Lewis will get third, besides any catastrophic errors here. But Lewis has got that pace to challenge, and it's such a shame that. But saying that, Lewis, Nigel and Swoosh, who are both going to want that win, knowing they've got 3 seconds now over Lewis, they're going to take that risk. And so I think we're going to see some kamikaze few last laps.
Yeah, so it seems, I mean, Lewis literally gained almost 2 seconds within the last lap.
Exactly.
Let's see how this unfolds.
And I'm going to go on to... Lewis did a 130 flat that lap compared to... Swoosh did 131.1, and the same with Nigel. So Lewis a second faster a lap, plus he's not got that delicacy of knowing he's one warning away from another penalty. As like you know from our battle, I pushed harder because I knew, and as I opened my mouth, and now
literally jinxed it, Pete.
Commentator's curse, buddy, but it's part of that racing. I mean, I don't know about you, but when I'm racing hard, I'm not listening to commentary. It's just one of those myths, so to speak. But now Nigel knows all he's got to do is hold Swoosh behind him, and even if he lets Swoosh past, keep it clean for 3 laps, and this race is his. As I can see, we've got Mercedes off. That's going to be F1 Immortal around Sector 1. But Swoosh and Lewis both now need to push. However, as teammates, they're fighting each other now for second place. Pure and simple, they are. So I'm now want to sit on board with Andre. Andre catching right up to the back of Bennett. He's going to have it DRS through the end of Sector 1. And my money's on Andre here. He's going to make this move last. Bennett moving to the inside straight away to go defensive. But getting, I would say, better traction out of turns 3 and 4. However, I'm looking at DRS levels. I'm just got 51%. Now, in my knowledge, you can only use, I think it's 50% in any given lap. 2 laps to go. Andre needs to get pedal to the metal flat out. Because... unless he's a 1 warning away from a penalty. If he is, then I understand his reluctance. However, because I think he knows right now he should know, because obviously you get diagrams of 2 drivers below you, 2 drivers above you if you're outside the top 4. And he's going to know FaZe has got 27, he's going to know Bennett has 23. And does he need to make the move? No, but is he going to? Yes, because we are all racers. Great move there by Andre through that corner as Bennett looks to battle, but I think he knows with 2 laps to go the battle's over for him. Can see Nigel has been passed by Swoosh. Swoosh now needs to go in 3 seconds, so Nigel, is he going to go into the mind frame of I want to beat him on track? I hope he doesn't. He's driven a fantastic race, 1 penalty in 25 laps of racing. He doesn't need to, but we're all racers and we're all competitive, so let's see what happens over this next 2.5 minutes as we go into the last 2 laps of racing here.
Yeah, so it seems, let's see. I can see that there is literally the restraint between the first 4 drivers.
Yes.
Excluding the penalties, I think the drivers would want to literally win the race, at least on track. You know? So let's see how this unfolds. In the meantime, Andre seems that he has a solid 4th place if he keeps this up. However, Bennett is still fighting it up. In the meantime, I think there was a left car from TTV Pengus Layer.
Let's have a look. Yes. Moving out the way accordingly of all the top 4 drivers. Very good driving there by the driver. And we're into the last lap. I need to check this out. I need to check out how is Nigel doing with the warnings. One more.
Yeah, it's gonna be very close. If he gets the last warning,
He's not had
a kicking in the balls, literally.
Yes, he's not had a warning in 12 laps. I'm not jinxing it. I'm not.
Bennett, Bennett. It was Bennett.
No, Bennett, yes.
My heart almost stopped.
No, I'm just, as a Haas fan, I'm begging for Nigel. I'm begging for him to keep track, take this win. As a Haas fan, on the game, not in real life. In real life, I'm a McLaren fan, but on the game, I love the Haas. I love the Ferrari sound. So, come on, Haas.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. And you're a Haas driver as well.
Yeah.
Lewis picking up another penalty, so Nigel does not have to worry about behind him. It is all about in front of him, and Smooth Strider has got to gain 2.5 seconds, or Nigel needs to fuck up in these last few corners, and I don't think he's going to. So
we can hope for the best.
Exactly.
I think Nigel is keeping it very safe. To be fair.
He doesn't need to. He does not need to. He knows he's winning right now. Winning on track and winning are two different things. I would rather win.
Bennett has just gone out. Bennett has just gone out.
He has, yes. And that's going to put Andre to 4th. Andre is going to be up to 4th.
Yeah. And Nigel
FaZe is going to be down to... FaZe is going to be down to 9th. I think. If Bennett can't produce something amazing out of these last few turns, it's going to be... What is Bennett going to be able to do? Come on, Josh. FaZe has got 6th, Rumour 7th, Jiggle 8th. So what? I'm seeing 7th. Tommy up to 6th. Tommy was in 10th.
Yep. I told you that he had no penalties, and having no penalties literally helps out in this game. Literally
and Chappie Cho.
Consistency literally helps. And Chappie Cho missing out on 10th
He can't.
place.
He didn't do it. He did not do it. He didn't do it. He lost out.
Shame for Bennett though as well, because he was having a very good race. I think he was in the top 4, and
he was 5th. I think he was 4th or 5th. Yeah.
And he has spun out twice in the last laps, and basically
that's a
problem. Like that.
That's the problem. Like when you spin, your tires heat up so much, and no surprise there. Andre getting DOTD driver of the day from 20th to 4th place, so close to a podium for the McLaren driver, and what a great result there. So we've got 2 Alpines on a podium, accompanying the Haas driver of... God, I can't remember his name, my apologies. Was it Lewis? It wasn't Lewis, was it?
Lewis,
Nigel,
yes,
Nigel.
Nigel is the first place, second place was Strider, third place would be Lewis.
And Andre, 16 places gained. One of 2 drivers in the top 14 not getting a penalty. Wow. Just well done.
Yeah. Amongst Tommy also made a very good race, to be fair. He started in 10th position. He kept that place until the end, but he had no penalties. So basically he has availed himself from that.
Exactly, and FaZe only dropping to 7th. Obviously finishing the race on track in 4th, but finishing in 7th, I'm sure he's not going to mind that, bearing in mind he had 24 seconds more penalties than the top 2 and finished 24.5 seconds.
Place.
Exactly.
He also started in 19th place, so...
Him and Andre pushed in different ways. FaZe chose to go via the I'm going to go as hard as I can throughout the race. Andre was like, I'm going to be sensible. But both make the strategies work for him. Both got good points finishes. And Chris, I'm going to thank you and Delta Pace for having me on board today, because I've really enjoyed the commentary here. It's been a great race.
Same here. I can only reciprocate this, because I have really enjoyed listening to you making these insightful details amongst the drivers, and as well I always enjoy making some comments with you as well, because you're so insightful. I mean, you always know all the details of the track and everything.
Oh, thank you, mate. I mean, like, here's the thing, like, I only started really racing this game last year, and I really enjoy it, so just getting comments like these from people that I respect, such as yourself. I mean, like I said to you previously, the best battle I've ever had on track was with you, so to get these compliments from people like yourself, it means a lot. So, and this is a hobby for all of us. So, thank you so much, mate. And I'm going to say this out loud. I hope you have a fantastic evening tonight. I know you've got commitments, so have a great night tonight. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Yep, same here, Pete.
Thanks,
have
buddy.
a great evening and take care, Peter. Thank you so much.
You too, Chris. Take it easy, buddy. Have a good
you.
one.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye. So guys, this is the Delta Pace Division 2 racing. We have just finished the race with Nigel P1, Sue Strider P2, Lewis P3, Andre P4, Josh Wexelson P5, Tommy TC93 P6. I believe this is a reserve driver from the Division 3. And then there's FaZe McBot at P7, Vroom at P8, Jiggle Fingers P9, Bennett finishes up in P10, and Chapicho P11. Shame for him because he had